alone and we in difficulty. From to 9 million people are getting direct grants, costing us 10 billion ringgit. I can reduce that and give it to you in the university, which is also important. But if I reduce that, the families suffer. This year, we started giving increased salary. We increased the salary of our public civil servants. Well, that was criticized. But I say for the last 12 years, government after government, prime minister after prime minister, they take care of their salaries, which is very high. And they say, I don't take salary, right? To prove a point. I'm not sure that I'm regretting it. But 12 years, no increase. Your parents are civil servants, you know that. 12 years. And it's not fair. They're burdened with more responsibility. And I did that. And even then, the scheme is different. The lower ranks get higher raise than the upper ranks. It's the first time we do that in a very progressive manner. How much does it cost? 10 billion ringgit this year and 18 billion ringgit next year. So students, when you ask for additional assistance where it's absolutely necessary, we will have to do it. But universities have also to be more creative to see how we can join in with some other factors. Where the rich must pay. Now we see students, be it locals or foreigners, you come from a rich family, you pay more. And that seems to be going to be extremely unpopular, but we have to do it. I mean, your salary, your parents' salary here is 50,000 ringgit, and you pay pittance to the university. You go to the hospital, you pay 1 ringgit. How do we manage? You know what is the allocation for education in this country? It's 26 billion ringgit, the highest ever. And the highest allocation under my budget, number 1 is education. And number 2 is public health. You find countries doing that? You can count 2 or 3 only. No country does that. I have decided, yes, you asked about the defense ministry, is important. It's our defense. Ours is a maritime nation. We need submarines. But we need schools. We need good universities. So I'm just expressing to you, who is the Dean of Economics here? We have
So tak ngaku lah.
You better get this macroeconomic understanding to your students. Because I can say, yes, we'll approve another few hundred million. But where do I get the money? I must cut from the others. Because, you know, when I became Prime Minister Yaakob, I had to deal with 1.5 trillion ringgit of debt. You know, the scandal after scandal, money being squandered. Every tender, you use it, negotiated tender. It doesn't matter, you call yourself Nationalist Party, Islamic Party, that did not change. Now we come to us, we change it. You want to have a procurement policy, proper tender process. Now, I want you, my children, to understand that we will do our best. I'm not giving excuses. We have to stop this waste. We have to stop this corruption. But we are only able, if you have younger sister and brother in the school, and the laboratory in that condition, how many schools they need repair? The laboratory, 856 schools. How much did it cost? Almost 1 billion ringgit. Now these jokers in the opposition says, well, 1 million means you have a golden toilet. I mean, it's just damn stupid statement to make. It's 856 school toilets, which we need to improve. I start with that. Then connectivity. Few hundred million for connectivity. All universities in this country. So we have our priority, right? But I think the Dean of Kuliah of Economics must give a public lecture on the macroeconomic situation. This is the 26 billion you give to schools, you divide, etc. If you increase this, you have to cut for housing, you have to cut for health, you cut to hospitals, you have to do it. If you have a better advice, I stand guided. I don't think I have all the answers, but in uridu illa islah mastata'tu. I'm trying my best to affect reform this country and do what's best for it.
Assalamualaikum Datu Seri. I'm Akif Naim, representative from IIUM Student Union. I have two questions actually. The first one, the river that cross in IIM, which is Sungai Pusu. As we can see now, the river is now buried and polluted because of the nearby quarry activities. I hope your action to take for the to refurbish our river. The second concern is about
So what with the river?
Sungai Pusu river.
Sungai Pusu river.
It's polluted and buried because of the quarry activities.
Pollution because not because of the students.
No. I'm pretty sure that is about quarry.
Okay.
My second question is about the PTPTL rate, because I need Datu Seri advice on revising the PTPTL rate, because we can see our students now barely survive after paying the fees to survive for the upcoming SEMs. Thank you, Datu Seri.
The Minister of Higher Education has taken this up. You see, you have from PTPTN outstanding debt now, if I'm not mistaken, close to 40 billion ringgit. And if we increase, it's going to be 50. For now, I see we have to hold on. We'll help probably students in terms of their needs, but I think we have to have this courage to revise. I reiterate my earlier point that we can resolve this if we do, for example, tax the very rich. With those parents who are very rich should pay, then at least we can transfer that to the poorer students. But it's a democratic world. When I increased the tariff for electricity, the opposition attacked me ferociously. But I said, 85% are not affected. We only tax the top 15%. I mean, you have 6 air conditioning and 5 fans in your house. You have a 10-room mansion, then you pay electricity at normal rate, not a subsidized rate. But the 85% are not affected. But even then, we can big issue. Now there's a campaign, Ayah Kuning. The Prime Minister, his son, he attacks people daily, he lies to them. And I don't. We increase. Which country, from what I know, at least in ASEAN, no country gives that sort of subsidy like we do. The subsidy for the people here is the highest in the region. But I don't want to subsidize the rate. For example, let's say electricity. What do you subsidize? The rate for ambassadors, high commissioners. Yeah. Now, no, from last year. But before that, we subsidized the electricity bills. So what we want is for them to pay the normal rate. Then, inshallah, we will try and review the PTPTN. Right? Yes.
That is true. We have one question from Kuantan campus. Can we?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Assalamualaikum, Datu Seri. Assalamualaikum, Datu Seri.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Kuantan campus.
Yes.
Apart from all those financial challenges, I have another question that I can give a lecture on economics. We have problems with manpower, whereby we don't have enough staff which are trained appropriately for
Excuse me, sister.
whatever apart from financial challenges, we have a problem of manpower. We have staff who are doing multiple jobs or have multiple job description. Now, it's good because we think that they are trained holistically, but the thing is, when they go for interviews for job, or kedekatan pangkat semua tu, the interviewers will say, why are you doing other people's jobs? And this is mainly because there's not enough staff to go around. We are trying to extend our kuliah services, but we don't have staff. Would you assist us with this?
Yeah, why don't you take it up with the rector first, and then you don't take up the shortage of staff in department to the Prime Minister. Go through the
Well, because you're here now.
And the rector, right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Puan Tan. There's also a question from our student upstairs in the
Hello.
room there.
Yeah, yes.
Assalamualaikum Datu Seri. I am Muhammad Zaimi from Ahmad Ibrahim College of Laws. My question is, as we know you from the first day as Prime Minister, you shouting about the institutional reforms. But public higher education in Malaysia faces two challenges: to adapt with the global disruptions like AI or climate crisis, but while we try to preserve our values, such as in IIUM, we have the Islamic values together with Malaysian values. So my question is, can you share what the outline of this Madani government's policy or agenda of reform in public higher education system that first modernizes public universities to accelerate research and development activities and digital infrastructure, and second, to anchors progress in Malaysian values, specifically in IIM that we have the Tawhidi epistemology and Umatic excellence. Thank you, Datu Seri.
Thank you. Now, the first question is on institutional reform. The reform was not confined to only higher education. In the Madani philosophy of the government, which means we inculcate the new disciplines as relevant, including energy transition, digitalization, AI, and at the same time to ensure that there is intrinsic values on justice, humanity, ihsan, rahmah. Then Parliament, for example, we have Fiscal Responsibility Act, which means the Finance Minister surrendering his power to the Parliament to review if he is not able to fulfill the target. And to explain, this is not done, you're transferring that. And then we have this decision that all procurement must be proper, transparent, and that process. Because this was the major cause of the leakages. Then the institutional reform covers the civil service. The civil service must be answerable. We have the civil service commitment on the standard reform that they have to undertake. On the university, I think next month or so, there is this new blueprint for higher education, which I asked Minister of Education to share and discuss a bit more before they present it as a national policy. I think they should present it also to universities to ensure that the reform meets this aim of a comprehensive, value-based education, but with that sort of expertise, talent which is required. AI, as we know, has been promoted aggressively, and as Oracle has said, I think in the region, we have been most aggressive in terms of using AI in schools and in universities. Not only faculties and departments, we are now getting the general student wanting to be exposed to this. We will take time because also some resources need to be dispersed for this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now that will be the end of our question and answer session. I'm so sorry for those who are still standing.
Am I to give you last question?
One more.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Ali Ibrahim from Department of Political Science and Management Studies. So when you mention about education, I think
Political science.
yes,
What semester?
I mean my 5th semester.
Okay, you tell me what.
The thing is that when we learn in universities, I think
No, you tell me as Prime Minister. What else should I do?
we need a good reform in higher education Because this is what's going to build.
You mean your Prime Minister, good refinery, that's Minister of Aviation. Prime Minister, what should I do?
Okay, so from my opinion, I think what you're doing right now with bringing up values, such as the Madani values of script, is very important. But what we need to do more is to make people understand that these kind of values are not political values. Because I think right now people see Madani as a political narrative. But for me, I see it as some form of values that we as everyone, every member of society should adapt and adopt. But this is something that I think, I know you're trying to do this to your best, but at the same time, it really looks like a political narrative from the public's point of view. And this is something I really want to achieve.
Give your name and phone number and ask you to help. You agree, right? And now I point you as one of my advisors representing the students. But before that, just let me express again my appreciation, my friend Professor Osman, for giving me the opportunity for you to take it. As you know, this session is not too formal, too rigid, too protocol line, and I do this in most universities. I have an opportunity in the States, and I thank you for your patience, but appeal to you, finally, appeal to you, please, as a father, I'm telling you, please, make sure, with all the limitations, do your best, get the best out of this university and serve the community. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Now, before reading cards, I would like to request for Datu Seri Anwar Ibrahim and the director to go off